Record. You all good? Maybe I
Yeah,
should go back to that Mario start
I
thing.
was getting ready to pick my nose, but never mind.
Where it's like, and we started. Welcome to the Fantasy Wizards podcast. We're doing matchups with Brian this week, special guest. How's it going, Brian? You know it
Good,
all.
good. No,
You
I don't.
predicted that Vikings win over the 49ers. How'd you do that?
I just felt it,
Oh, you felt it.
honestly.
Well, good.
Yeah,
I'd like to feel you. I'd like to feel what you're feeling. That's
yes,
what I meant to
yes.
say.
You know what's funny, though? Every time I tell people to bet on it, I never put the money on it.
But hey, thanks for the big winnings. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I'll cut you in next time.
count on it.
Alrighty. Well, first off, a lot of new injuries going into the week. Brock Purdy's probably looking at playing now, but it's still up in the air. We'll talk about that in matchups. Jerome Ford looks like he's going to play. It's surprising.
Jerome Ford is playing?
Yeah, he's trending towards playing now. He practiced and limited. He was doubtful going into the week. I guess just monitor that the rest of the week or over the weekend. On Sunday, check your lineups. But yeah, any other injury news that are kind of updated that I'm forgetting?
Yeah, Tannehill, you know.
Oh, he's
People
actually
know.
going to play?
No, I think he's out. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
Daniel Jones. Yeah, they're playing Will Levis this week.
I thought,
Um,
I thought he said they were going to play both quarterbacks.
oh, really?
Yeah, I thought it was some weird dual quarterback thing. I don't know.
Let's see which one sucks less.
Yeah, definitely start your Falcons defense.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. Let's see, there's another one on here. They say Aaron Jones is good to go. So
Awesome. You like to have him back, won't you?
I've been waiting, man.
Yeah. It's like me and JJ, man. I just like I really hope it's not longer than 4 weeks, but it might be.
Dude, yeah, I was nervous because I had James Cook, and I was like, man, I just got to bench him and just hope Aaron Jones is good to go. Otherwise, I got to play Madison, which you know how that goes.
Yep. Well, yeah, another injury. Tyreek Hill definitely in this week. He even said it himself. So
Yep, I saw that.
take that to the bank. Alrighty, you want to get into matchup?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alrighty. NFC showdown. We got Philadelphia Eagles at the Washington Commanders. Over under is 43.5. Eagles favored by 7, a touchdown. So, how do you feel about Jalen Hurts and this passing attack this week?
Jalen Hurts, I feel fine about him. He's a lock every single week.
Yeah, you should see him feast this week more than usual. Pretty good matchup. That means AJ Brown. What about Devontae Smith? You think he goes back to his beginning of the season
I mean,
performances?
it's hard. AJ Brown killed it last week. I like either one of them. If you have either one,
Yeah, I would
just throw
be.
them in there.
Yeah, I would be looking to see him performing more than usual against this Commies defense. So Deion, uh, I mean Swift. How do you feel about starting him this week?
Swifty, where is old Swifty?
It's middle of the road. 20th worst
Yeah,
matchup. It's not perfect,
Swift.
but
I feel great about Swift. I just looked at his stats for the whole season, and I'm like, man, how did I miss that?
yeah, he 10
They,
points
they just
last week
throw to him
though.
all the time
Yeah, it just yeah. In PPR he's definitely
for a running back.
in PPR he's definitely a lock. In regular, he's gonna have he did well in tough matchups at the beginning of the season. I think I think he's just going to continue to feast. What about Dallas Goddard? How do you feel about him?
Hold on, that
Good
DeAndre
stream.
Swift against the Rams, he had 17 rushes for 70 yards and 6 receptions for 38. Pretty solid.
Oh
But
yeah.
who'd you say?
What about Dallas Goddard?
Dallas. I mean, he finally had a good. Did he have a good 1 week or a good couple weeks? No, he had a good 3 weeks, I guess, in a row.
Yeah, for tight end, definitely. I mean, he feasted against the Rams, but in
Yep, got her.
Miami. So
Put him in. Put
yeah,
him in
he's
against
got another
Washington.
good matchup. His previous matchup against Washington was only 4 points, but I think you can start him easily. I wouldn't stream somebody over him, for
Nah,
sure. So, and
he's
this,
still a top 7 talent and tight ends.
oh yeah. So, what about the Eagles defense? They're going to feast this week as well.
I mean, I would think, unless something crazy happens.
Yeah,
That's one where I'm not, I'm not getting. Oh, the underdog. Washington's gonna freaking, I
yeah. I
just
think Sam Howell and the offense will perform against their defense, but I don't see them getting like you know low point scoring. I mean, they might give you 7 this week, which is decent enough.
yeah. I mean, or it could be some crazy like New York Jets game whenever they beat them.
Yeah,
Just lackluster offense and just happen to get lucky. Really,
yeah. I think
defense
Sam
put 'em
Howell's a
through.
good stream this week. I mean, against Philadelphia last time, he scored 18 points. I mean, I'd look to
What
see about the same outcome.
What did he have last week? Didn't you put him on?
Last week, I think he had 9 points.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah. Do you have him on your roster?
yeah, I do currently. Yeah, I mean, it was a tougher matchup against the Giants, but not like a super tough matchup. But yeah, I mean, I think he's a good streamer and good matchups. And against Philadelphia, I misspoke. He scored 19.6 points against Philadelphia last time out. So this one's at home. I see him scoring about 20. I would definitely stream him.
I wouldn't argue it.
Yeah. And then Brian
I'm just glad
Robinson,
I don't
though.
have him, so I don't have to take the gamble.
Yeah, Brian Robinson. With that being said, I have him on my roster. Do not start Brian Robinson this
Yeah, I
week.
have him in another league, and he's on my bench.
Yeah. Uh, so obviously, you probably start Terry McLaurin since he's the number one option on this offense, even though sometimes he doesn't end up being the fantasy one on this roster, highest fantasy scorer. What
What
about
about
Curtis?
Curtis Samuel? That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, Curtis Samuel. He's questionable with the foot injury. I think he will probably play, but he did miss Wednesday's practice, and he did have limited practice today, or yesterday. So um, I would start him, and I would hold off on.
He's like your last slot flex I mean,
Yeah,
if you don't really have a lot of options.
I would hold off if he obviously yeah, he's last flex option for sure. I would hold off if he goes into the game, uh, you know, more questionable. Like I don't see Friday's practice on here, so just keep updated. And if he's limited again, maybe pivot out. Uh, but if he participates full in practice on Friday, I think he should be good to go for the game.
Yeah.
Logan Thomas, I think Logan Thomas is a good streamer for tight end this week. How about you?
Yes. He's exceeded my expectations so far just by catching 2 touchdowns. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean that's what you got to do. You got to target those guys that can get those touchdowns, because that's how you're going to get a good amount of points for tight end. What about this Commies defense? Obviously, you're not starting them. I don't even know
Nope.
why we mention it, but yeah, they've let me down. I had high hopes at the beginning of the season, but yeah,
I wouldn't start them, but the Eagles, I wouldn't be afraid of starting them at all.
denied the start this week. actually deny them every week. Don't start the commies. Okay, on to the Patriots.
The
Patriots
Patriots.
Dolphins game at Miami. 9.5 point underdogs. Patriots. It's a over under of 47. So we like to see a higher over unders.
I think that's going to be. I don't think that's going to be a close game. I think if
Really?
it was in New England, yeah. If it was in New England, then yeah. They honestly, New England would have it would be a pick 'em for me. But in Miami, I just nah.
I see
I
New
don't
England
know.
actually winning this game. So you
Really?
want to bet it? You want to bet it? Tall boy bet?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
I would actually think that they're going to win this game. So yeah, tall boy bet. I owe you a beer if I lose. Alrighty. So with that said, I mean Mac Jones, he's not my lineup, but
You
what
might be
about
onto
Kendrick
something.
Bourne this week?
It was 10.5 point favorite. Now it's 9.5. Kendrick Bourne. I mean, I wanted to pick him up. I just didn't have any fab left.
Yeah.
He seems like the only receiver worth anything there, honestly.
Yeah, I mean if Juju's out, definitely put him in your flex spot this week. But he doesn't get as many snaps or targets when Juju's there, which I don't really understand. Looks like Juju's going to be back this week. Um, I would be worried about starting him now that I see that. So
I mean, you already know that the Dolphins are going to be, I don't think the Dolphins are going to struggle to get points. You know,
yeah, but you're kind of going in and out there, Brian. But maybe you test it out here in a second. But as far as I would be wary of Kendrick Bourne. Now that Juju's there, I'm not starting any of their tight ends. I see Zeke and Ramondre as good starts this week. What about you, Brian? I can't hear you. You got me? We'll be right back. You got me, Brian? Alrighty. I'm gonna move on. As far as the tight ends, I wouldn't start Ramondre and Zeke. I think they're both startable this week. I think that's where Miami's gonna see a lot of attack from. And then I think you could start Patriots defense this week. I think they're gonna have to win the turnover battle. Maybe they even get some points. As far as Miami goes, obviously I think you're starting every skill position player: Mostert, Waddle, Tyreek. Not any other tight ends. Miami's defense, I wouldn't start them. They do have a good matchup technically in fantasy, but I just feel like their defense isn't there yet.